Hello and welcome to Simplified. I am Gurjot
And I'm Michael.
and this is episode 2 of our sub-series Cool Stuff.
Where we talk to cool stuff.
You do it every time. In this episode, Michael spoke to Heejae Lim, who is the founder and executive director of a company called TalkingPoints. What is it all about, Michael?
Basically, they help connect teachers to parents of immigrant children. The parents can't really speak the language, so they have a system that enables them to connect with each other. But of course, Heejae explains this a lot better.
So let's find out about Heejae's story and what Talking Points is all about in 3, 2, 1.
You created a project called Talking Points, and this has been going on for about 2 years, right?
Yep, about 19 months to be exact. So I founded it off the back of graduating from business school in the summer of 2015.
How did you get here? Instead of like going to a normal job, what brought you to creating a company?
Let's see. It all started as more like I'd never intended it to be a real, company or organization. I was not one of those people who was set on being an entrepreneur from the very start. But what happened was I went to a weekend hackathon that was on education. And it was called Startup Weekend Education. It was hosted by a local school district here in the Bay Area called Oakland. And I went to the weekend and happened to pitch this idea that became Talking Points. Teachers who were attending the event really liked it. We won some special challenge prize, and it all snowballed from there.
So it all started at a hackathon, and you guys created a prototype, I guess?
Yeah, so we worked on over the weekend to create a very, very basic prototype, which could showcase the idea, which teachers saw and liked. And then that summer, I spent a couple of months creating the very initial MVP of Talking Points. And then a year later, officially founded the organization. I had worked on the idea and the prototype while I was still at business school. So I had something to start with by the time I graduated.
And how did it inspire you to like get into this kind of project being in business school, or
a bit of both? I think business school really gave me the time and the resources and people around me who was really encouraging and inspiring to start my own organization and also be really socially minded. Stanford is it's full of millennials, and they say millennials really want to do good and find meaning in their lives. So it definitely helped me think through my options while I was thinking through Talking Points. Yeah.
And does it feel like you found meaning now that you're creating a project to help people?
It feels amazing. So I had a very corporate career before Talking Points, which I really enjoyed, and I learned a lot and was very well trained. But it feels different to be really making a difference, and I get up every day knowing that, and that gives me energy to run Talking Points.
Can you share with the audience exactly what Talking Points is about?
Yeah, of course. So Talking Points is an education technology nonprofit organization. And our mission is to really transform and change the way that parents and teachers talk to each other. And we do that through a multilingual texting platform that parents and teachers use to communicate via text messages, which also has translation. The reason being, in a lot of lower income communities and diverse communities, we think parents can do so much more, and they want to be involved in their children's education, but often, there are a lot of barriers to doing that. Like, they are not sure what's going on at school because there is a lack of communication. They often don't have Wi-Fi or device access at home. They don't speak the same language as their teachers. They often don't know what the education system is like because they did not grow up in the US. So all that is to say, we want the teachers and parents to be able to communicate and meaningfully to build relationships so that students can be more successful through those relationships as well.
How do you measure the success of your product that you're creating? How do you know if it's effective or not?
Yeah, so a couple of things. We measure impact, one, through the number of families we have impacted. So that's our reach. Two is ultimately we want to measure our success in terms of our parents engaging their children's education, and therefore are students successful and more successful in classrooms. Like, are they coming to the school more and there's less absences? Are they more engaged? Are the homeworks being turned in, and so on?
How do you make sure that you constantly have money coming in to support your project?
Yeah, so that's my job as CEO. I do have to have a solid fundraising plan and really be able to communicate the vision and the mission of Talking Points to a broad audience and work towards our milestones to be able to fundraise. And yeah, that's a big part of my job.
So do you like call organizations, or you basically do the networking in a way?
Yeah, I would say a lot of the fundraising is based on, really clearly communicating what we're trying to achieve and how we're going to get there. And also developing relationships with the philanthropic funders and donors who want to give money, but money to organizations that they believe will make an impact. Because ultimately what they're looking for is a return on impact. And that's what they're investing for.
Oh, so they want to make sure you're actually helping people with the money.
Mm-hmm. Of course, exactly.
Would you have some tips for us young people trying to network our way into, like, I don't know, a business, or to try to start a business in the future?
I would say the biggest advice is, don't be scared, take risks. And I think it's now a time where people are having multiple careers. It's not like our parents' generation used to have one or two jobs max in the whole career. I think millennials or students who are now in their early 20s just about to graduate are projected to have more than 5 careers in their lives. So I think the first career would that be, if that is being an entrepreneur, then you have multiple roads to achieve your goals.
Are there risks that you wish you would have taken?
Yeah, I think one of the ways that I really got into education is I volunteered a lot in the summers in my undergraduate years. I lived in Ecuador for a summer and also traveled around Latin America for another summer. I wish I had done more of that when I was starting out my career.
Kind of like more adventurous.
Yeah, be more adventurous. I wanted to live in sub-Saharan Africa for a while, and I only got to do that while I was at McKinsey, and I think that was too late. I wish I had been more adventurous and not so worried about my first job out of undergrad, and explored more opportunities, because ultimately I think that's how you grow, by having different experiences.
You worked several years at McKinsey. How has it shaped your thinking?
McKinsey was an amazing place as my first job straight out of my master's, which I did straight out of my undergrad. It helped me really structure my thinking. And I learned to communicate in a way that was very effective. But most of all, what I enjoyed the most was really being surrounded by fantastic people that I'm still very good friends with. And it's a very supportive cohort. We've gone off to do very different things, but they are a big part of my support network. So that was awesome.
If you met an undergrad student and he told you he is very ambitious, what would you suggest he does as a first step?
I would say start small, but dream big. Because I think what a lot of people end up doing is dream big, but never start. So just knowing that baby steps is still okay, and it's a path to something. So yeah.
Do you mean like starting small is better than not starting at all?
Exactly.
Cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
How would you go about finding what issues one could solve with his, I don't know, engineering background, for example? Because I'm sure there are many problems we're just not exposed to. How could we find them?
Yeah, I would say a couple of things. One is starting with your own problem or problems that you see around you is a great start, because you want to be really passionate about the problems you're trying to solve. And I think one of the ways that you can be passionate about it is if you have that problem, or if you see people around you with the same problem. Two is I would, research maybe a bit more. But I do think it's important to be thinking about a problem that you can identify with and understand and personally connect to. Talking Points came out of my personal experience growing up as an English language learner student. And that's really driven me in, a lot of my motivation and energy. And I would encourage, others to find an issue that you personally care about and feel passionate about for one reason or another.
What are some problems you think don't have enough attention in the world?
Let's see. I think a big one is climate change. I think it's such a big problem with not enough people in the system. I do also think education is another one. Gender equality is another one, and so on.
What specific problems in education are not so obvious to most of us?
That's a great question. I think access to education is still a big problem in a lot of the parts of the world. Equal access to affordable, quality education. And education for girls is still an issue for a lot of the countries that we do not know about.
What for you makes a good education system? What aspects should it have?
Yeah, so a couple of things. So there was actually a report that McKinsey did on what makes school systems great. And I would encourage everyone to read that if you're actually interested about the topic. But off the top of my head, it's quality of teachers. So, what top percent of the talent pool do your teachers in the education system come from? So countries like Finland and Korea, you have to be in the top 20% to be an educator. Not so much in other countries. So that's I think the biggest driver of what makes a good education system.
What would you say are the biggest problems you had to face to get where you are today?
I think just doing things and capacity issues, learning to embrace failures and just keep on going.
What aspects has your education prepared you well for in your startup creation?
I think my education I've been lucky enough to be part of institutions that really empower students to believe they can do anything. So that's been the biggest value add. It also taught me how to think critically and analytically and so on. What it did not teach me, unfortunately, is to embrace failures and take risks, and that your friends and your networks matter, and so on.
Yeah, so one thing you said you wish you did more was travel more. What else could we do to really take the most of our youth and undergrad?
I think enjoy it while you can. Try everything and enjoy it.
Try everything. Do you mean like just sign up for random clubs and just explore?
Yeah.
What are some daily habits you have to sustain yourself?
Let's see. I get up, I drink a cup of tea, and I meditate for 15 minutes every day.
Oh, so you always start the day with a meditation?
I try to.
You try to.
I also try to not check my emails in the morning and to get my biggest tasks done in the first 3 hours of the day. And then my day goes crazy. And then, I exercise a lot. Well, I try to exercise, and that really gives me mental clarity, and spend a lot of time with the friends and the family that you care about, the people you care about. So ultimately, that's where I drive my energy.
Would you say you've been happy throughout these past few years in the startup? Or
Yeah.
were you, because always like when people create such organizations, they always seem very stressed and unhappy.
I mean, not gonna lie, this is a stressful job, but my average state of happiness or level of happiness is really high.
Wow. What would you say were your passions in life?
I mean, I love the way that you guys are taking the initiative to make this podcast. So I think you've made a great start to making anything your own. And really having those different experiences. So I congratulate you both on making a strong start on your journey.
Thank you. Before closing, I'd like to ask one more question. What's on your bookmarks bar?
Sorry, say that again?
What's on your computer bookmarks bar? So on your browser?
So many things. Let's see. I have a bunch of education technology blogs and websites. I have links to all our tech tools like Heroku, which is what we use, database.
Wait, what do these tools do exactly?
Tech tools. So we build on servers, right, and have databases that maintain the tool. So I have links to all those accounts, and then a bunch of blogs like tech blogs, education blogs, design tools, and many more. It's frankly too disorganized for me.
It's very okay. Is there a specific content you consume regularly?
Everything, anything and everything, really.
For example, when you're bored and you take out your phone and you really have nothing else to do, what do you open?
That never happens.
Never happens.
No, but what I do is I love this app called Pocket that recommends articles for me to read.
Oh, okay.
That's my automatic go-to. I read articles and consume media.
Cool. Thank you very much, Heejae.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you for listening. If you liked it, we'd really appreciate it if you shared it and gave us your feedback. We publish a new episode every week. For more details, visit our website simplifyd.xyz.